We are living in an era of rapid change, whether it's political, with massive shifts in our government and our relationship with the world, or technological, breakthroughs like AI advancing faster than ever before, upstarts and new inventions popping up seemingly every day, while investors are left trying to figure it all out in real time. Well, good luck. If you have no idea what to do in this market, don't worry. No one else does either. Much of this is uncharted territory, and it's hard to evaluate unemotionally. Anyone who tells you they have a good idea of what the market is going to do in the next 6 months is full of you-know-what. This is one of the most confusing markets in history. We've entered an age of chaos. For example, NVIDIA recently reported blockbuster record-breaking earnings, including far more revenue on its Blackwell chip than the market even expected. And the stock went down 9% the very next day. Elon Musk is at the right hand of the president. Some people think he's practically running the government. A seat at the table with the president should be a good thing, right? Yet his company, Tesla, has seen its stock crater. Hey, we've just elected supposedly the most pro-business, pro-market president in history, a massive confidence booster, yet stocks are selling off and gold prices are soaring. My name is Martin Weiss, and not only have I lived through the market's ups and downs, in fact, I've predicted quite a few of them, including the savings and loan crisis, the dot-com bust, and the 2008 financial crisis. The rating system I built accurately predicted 98.3% of all banks that failed during that tumultuous time. But I've also lived large portions of my life in Brazil, where I am now. I've experienced military coups, rapid inflation, replacement currencies, martial law, and tanks in the street. So I've seen a thing or two. And in times of chaos, I always go back to a few key principles that have helped me not only survive, but thrive, even when there's literally blood in the streets. That's why I'm sending you this message now. For the last couple of years, I've been enjoying a well-earned retirement here on my farm in Brazil. I spend a lot of time swimming and visiting with my family, but the last few months have awakened my fiduciary duty. Investors are confused, even desperate, and I have the tools to help them. So I've come out of retirement today to give you this critically urgent message. We are living in an age of chaos. And for those of you near my age, this could be the investing world we live in for the rest of our days. You need to be prepared. I've spent over 50 years studying Wall Street. I run a successful stock market business with over 100,000 followers because I built the best independent stock rating system in the world. And this is not just me bragging. A study in the Wall Street Journal ranked us #1 for stock ratings. They said we were more accurate and more profitable for investors than Deutsche Bank, Merrill Lynch, JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Standard & Poor's, and every other firm they reviewed. And when the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, sponsored an independent study to determine which financial ratings company had the best profit track record for stocks, Weiss Ratings came out #1. Again, over the last 20 years, we've issued a buy alert on 11,194 different trades. The average gain was nearly 4 times your money, and that includes the losers. I've spent millions of dollars to keep this system running at a high level of computer power, and I've acquired over 7 terabytes of data. That's the data that powers a stock market algorithm built on tens of thousands of those data points for each and every stock in the market. This is how you thrive when the market is in chaos. You trust the data. My Weiss ratings are completely unbiased and built on 100 years of historical data and completely agnostic mathematical formulas. Emotions don't come into play. Salacious headlines don't bother it. The latest statements from the president or the Federal Reserve Chairman don't confuse it. Weiss Ratings uses the data to eliminate bias. And tell me, what human isn't biased? It's no different for investors. That's why you need a sober-minded guide through market confusion. Our Weiss Ratings has proven to be just that. Weiss Ratings has called almost every bull and bear market since 1971. We predicted the dot-com bust. That's when analysts like Morgan Stanley, Bloomberg, and JP Morgan were all giving glowing reports on future valuations of stocks. And Zacks, a famed stock ratings company, couldn't find a single Wall Street analyst giving any NASDAQ stocks a sell. But Weiss Ratings signaled something completely different. We said 90% of those stocks were radioactive. And sure enough, the NASDAQ was down 75% within 3 years. Anyone who followed Weiss Ratings would have gotten out well ahead of time. Then, in 2008, it happened again. The government and the big banks were deceiving the public, telling them everything was going to be okay. Even as the worst financial crisis of our generation was already unfolding. But Weiss Ratings was ahead of the game. We accurately named over 98% of the banks that failed, months in advance. It all started with my father, Irving Weiss, in 1929. The stock market was roaring. But while others were out clinking drinks, my father was putting together data spreadsheets on stocks by hand, late at night, at the New York Public Library. And he saw something totally different in the numbers. He predicted a massive crash. And he tried to warn as many other investors as he could. The vast majority laughed in his face. But he was right. And the Great Depression began just months later. Weiss Ratings is doing something similar. We are totally independent. We don't take advertising money, and we wouldn't accept a cup of coffee from the companies we cover. So we're not beholden to anything or anyone except the data.